Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Lainey. Thank you so much for stopping by. In today's video, we're going to be doing a YouTube made me buy it. So we have a lot of items here. I'm just going to go over specific products that I bought because of a specific YouTuber. So if you're interested in seeing those items, then just keep on watching. If you're new here though, please remember to hit that subscribe button so you never miss another video from me. Alright, so this video has been on the back of my mind for a very long time. And I am so excited to finally be doing it. I have a lot of different items from a lot of different YouTubers. I'm going to separate it by like product and step in my routine. First up, I have one foundation that I bought because of a specific YouTuber, actually two, and this is the Flower Get Real Serum Foundation. I'm actually wearing it today. I bought it because I thought it might be a dupe for the Urban Decay Naked Skin. It is not, but I have since found a dupe for the Urban Decay Naked Skin. This is a very light coverage foundation. I should say who inspired me to buy this. I was inspired by Kelly Gooch and Juicy Jazz. So I will leave everyone I mentioned down below. And yeah, this foundation is not my favorite. I will definitely use it and pan it, but not my favorite. I don't like the way it feels on my skin. Like I really need to powder it down in order to feel comfortable wearing it. Like I don't like the feeling of it on my skin. The coverage is nice. I would like a little bit more coverage. You can kind of build it up, but because I don't like the way it feels, I usually just add more coverage with concealer. So not my favorite foundation, but I do like it, and I don't think it's bad by any means. It's just not my personal preference. Next, we actually have a loose powder, and that is the Fenty, what is this actually called? I always forget. Pro Filter Instant Retouch Setting Powder. I have the shade Butter. This is actually a mini, but you get a lot of product in there. Like I still have a ton in here, and I actually bought this because of Smoky Glow. She always talks about this powder, how much she loves it, and I bought it at the beginning of 2020 last year, and I have to say this is my favorite loose powder as well. It's just so good. I love the way it smells. Is that weird? It's so finely milled, and I love the way it applies to the skin. It's so light. There's just like a cloud now. It's so light, but it sets your makeup down, and it just looks beautiful on the skin. I don't have a whole lot to say about it, but I love this powder so much. It was such a good recommendation. Next, we have one blush, and that is the Serafina blush from Juvia's Place. So this is what she looks like. So this is what the blush looks like. This is, once again, the Serafina blush from Juvia's Place. You get a lot of blush in here. You get 10 grams or 0.35 ounces, so quite a bit. And I didn't buy this. I actually asked for it for my birthday, and my boyfriend gifted it to me. I put this on my wish list because of a swatch that Spooky Lips and Fat Hips did in her blush collection. And I just thought it was the most beautiful blush in the world. And it is a really nice blush, but it is extremely pigmented. So I have to do a really, really light hand in order to make this work for me. But it's a really nice peachy coral blush. It has a bit of a sheen to it. It's really nice and glowy. It's a lovely blush, and you get a ton of product in here. Like I'm never going to be able to finish this. In addition to that blush, I actually have a blush palette. This is the Lunar Beauty Moon Prism Blush Palette. Actually, another thing I got from my boyfriend. And this is what she looks like. And this is something I kind of debated when it first launched getting, and I just decided to wait. And I bought this, or I put this on my wish list because of Amy Love's makeup. She did a face swatch video of this, and it kind of just convinced me that, like, yes, I want this blush palette. This was in my favorite items of 2020 video, so it's a just effortless blush formula. I love that they're mostly matte. I do like a shimmery glowy blush from time to time, but I do prefer mattes. They're just so pretty, and they just blend effortlessly. Oops, I just got blush all over my black cardigan. But they're just so nice, and these are just such a nice blush formula, and they just apply so beautifully. The only dud I would say is Pink Moon. It doesn't really show up on my skin tone. I feel like it does on other people, so I don't know if this was just like pressed a little too hard. I'm not really sure. Or maybe it's just not my preference, and like that's totally okay. But I do genuinely use these. I will use Pink Moon as like a nose blush a lot. I find I can really get it to kind of like show up and just be a little, I like a little subtle blush on my nose. So if I'm doing a kind of more strong blush, I'll go in with Pink Moon. But yeah, this is a really great item, and once again, it was inspired by Amy Lowe's makeup when she did her face wash video. And next up, I bought the Milk Makeup Baked Bronzer. I have the shade Baked. I feel like I always think of it as that's the name of it. This is the mini, and I bought it January last year. I cannot roll it up anymore. I don't know if it's broken or what, but I will just take a brush and like swirl it in there and then apply it to the face. So this was a purchase inspired by Paulina Beauty. I love her channel as well. This is like her favorite cream bronzer of all time. She uses it like every single day. And I like this. I just think cream bronzer isn't for me. And that's okay. I just prefer powder bronzer. I think I'm wearing powder bronzer today. It's very light, but I do really like powder bronzer compared to this. This is kind of something, I took it out of my project last year. I didn't put it in a new project pan, and I just don't reach for it. So I'm gonna have to like put this in a project pan or shut my stash in order to get me to finish it. I have no idea how much is left in here because it's a mystery. But yeah, I don't regret purchasing it because I'm really glad I was able to try it out, and it taught me that cream bronzer just isn't for me, and that's okay. But yeah, this is the bronzer that was inspired by someone. I actually have two more bronzers that I bought inspired by people. So I have the Nabla Skin Bronzing in Ambra. This was inspired by Angelica Nikist. I know she really liked this bronzer. It's my finger stained from that Serafina blush. It's just a really nice light bronzer. I love the Nabla glazing formula. They have the highlights, which I'll talk about in a minute. Some of the highlights, depending on your skin tone, can work as blushes, and I haven't tried those, but I tried the highlight and the bronzer, and it's really, really beautiful. So I have no regrets here. You just need a kind of more dense brush in order to pick this formula up, but it is a really, really nice blush bronzer. I can't speak. And then the other bronzer I have, it's gonna be so hard to show. This is my Fenty Indecent Sunstalker bronzer, and this is what she looks like. The FB imprint is basically gone, and I bought this, here I'm just gonna show it like this. I bought this because of Peculiar, I cannot say that word, Peculiar Belgian on YouTube. She also has an Instagram. I found her channel and I found her Instagram page and then her channel, and I just kind of binge watched all of her content, and this is one of her favorite bronzers. And I can definitely see why. It is not too warm and not too cool. So it's a little bit lighter than the Nabla one, and it's not as warm. So I like having that variety where I can kind of pick what fits best with my look. And I really, really like this bronzer a whole lot. It's really great. Next, we have a few highlights. So since I just talked about the bronzer, let me get this out of the way. The Nabla Skin Glazing in Ozone. Once again, inspired by Angelica Nikist. I know she really loves Nabla, and these were my first two Nabla purchases, and I am so intrigued to try more. Look at that. Oh, you can't even see it, but it's such a beautiful highlight. It's so blinding, but also just so natural on the skin. It is so beautiful, and it's beautiful. I love it. I can get away with a not super dense brush, but with the bronzer, I feel like I need a more dense brush. And then I also have the Milk Makeup Flex Highlighter in the shade Lit. This was inspired by Smoky Glow. I know this is one of her favorite highlights. I think it ranked it's in the top 3. Oh my god, it's so silky smooth. It ranked in like the top 3, I think, of her highlight video. So it's this slightly darker one down here, but I can wear it on my skin. It's just a little more almost a little rosy champagne. It's not like super rosy, but a little bit rosier than the Ozone shade from Nabla. And then I have this highlight. This is the shade Pink Lightning from Sydney Grace. This is a loose highlight, and this was inspired by Amy Lowe's makeup. This is one of her favorite highlights, and when she describes this, she calls it like a thick powder, and I definitely agree. It's a really interesting texture, and it's just a really, really pretty blinding pink highlight, pretty similar to Pillow Talk from Ofra. So if you have that, you don't necessarily need it, but to me they're different enough. Okay, I have an eye base actually. This is the e.l.f. Putty Eye Primer, and I bought this because of my friend Katie XO Beauty here on YouTube. I will link her channel down below as well as with everyone's channel, because I saw she liked this. Also Robert Welsh really likes this eye primer, and it's not my favorite, but I don't hate it. If I'm not careful, my eyeshadow can come out patchy, and I wish it was just a little more creamier. It's a little dry. I don't know if it's just the one I got, because when Katie showed this in her like favorites of 2020 video, I think, and hers looked a lot cream, like even though she didn't stick her finger in it, it just looked creamier in the pot. So mine is a little dry, and if you can see, it's like pulling apart from the sides. So yeah, I'm gonna still use it, and I like it because I wanted something with a little more coverage on the lid, but I think I want something a little slightly more creamier than this. So not a fail, but not a favorite. So yes. And then also for a base product, I have the Pixie Glow Mist, and this is actually my 2020 project pan, no, my 2021 project pan. And I bought this because of Sarah Rose, and it's fine. I think it makes me too glowy. Like, I like to look luminous, but I don't like to be super dewy and glowy all the time. And this is just a little too much for me. So I'm trying to use it up in the winter and spring before summer rolls around. I also don't know how I feel about having propolis in it. So yeah, not a favorite, but not a super fail, but yeah. I don't know. It's kind of just like in the middle, like it's okay, but I would never repurchase it. Next up, we have some eyeshadow. Now, I tried to pick items. Oh my god, I have like too much in front of me. So next up, we have some eyeshadow palettes, and I tried to pick palettes that I could think of distinctly in my head. I bought because of some people. Oh, I'm missing one. Like, most of my palettes have some inspiration from YouTube behind it. Like, I watched a review video or a first impression or something like that, but I tried to pick ones distinctly because of a YouTuber I bought. So first up, we have the Dose of Colors Snow Angels palette, which is supposed to be a limited edition, but I'm pretty sure I bought this like 3 years ago, and it's still available 2-3 years ago. I bought this because of Angelica Nikas. I saw she did a video on it. Well, I was interested in it, and she said she was gonna get this, and so I waited to see her video on it. And I bought it because of that, and it's a shame that I don't use it as much as I do. I think because it's all matte, I don't reach for it as much. I do want to depot this, but I'm really afraid of the shadows breaking, so I haven't. This is a really nice matte formula. I've heard such great things about the Dose of Colors matte formula, and this is really good. I also like that you can get a wide variety of looks with this 5-pan palette. It's not going to turn out the same every time, because you have the variety of pinks and you have 2 blues. So it's a really nice palette, and I really need to use it more. I should pull it into a Shop My Stash because it's really nice. Next up, we have my Lunar Beauty Moonspell palette, which, I mean, I was interested in it from the start, but I wasn't sure how to feel about the formula because I think he had 2, maybe 3 palettes before this, and I didn't really know much about it. And this is, again, one of the Amy Loves Makeup's recommendations. I think she did a 5 looks with this palette. I think she did like a 5 look video with this palette or something like that. And it really just convinced me. And this is one of my favorite palettes of all time. It's actually my pan that palette, kind of. So in my Pan Those Shadows video, I am basically trying to hit pan in as many shades in this palette as I can. I have pan in Samantha, which this was just randomly selected, and then I decided once I hit pan with that, I wanted to make it my pan that palette. and then right now I'm trying to pan Kiki. And so this is a really great palette. I love the formulation, and I want more of his palettes. I'm kind of tempted to get the Strawberry Dreams palette. Kind of. Also, Eternal Eclipse, I didn't get because I'm like thrown off by the warm and the cool tone mixture, but it looks so pretty. So I haven't bought it yet. Yeah, Manny's formulation on his palettes is just absolutely beautiful, and they're so blendable, and the shimmers are stunning. The only dud for me would be Hermione, which kind of has a little bit of hard pan on it, and then Fiona. I wouldn't call it a dud because I don't think it's supposed to be the most sparkly metallic shade, but it is more of a satin, so yeah. But it's a beautiful palette, and if you haven't gotten yet, I highly recommend. Next up, we have some single shadows. So I have them in the Shop Miss A palette with some stickers on it from Loud Lacquer and the Bailey Sarian collaboration. And these are most of my Davina shadows, not all of them. There's one missing, and then I have a palette with a few more that didn't fit in here. But Davina is because of Amy Lois makeup once again. Specifically, this shade down here, I will show you. Asteria. Oh my god. So look at this. You can even see the shift with the dip. Oh my god. It is stunning. Absolutely stunning on the lid. This was in her like favorite Davina shadows video, and I had to get it, so I did. It is so beautiful, and I love it. Davina shadows are just so beautiful and so sparkly and so worth it, but also not that expensive. I used to have them sorted by like collection, but now I kind of went by color. I still have a few from Black Friday that I haven't used yet, and then I'm gonna kind of go in again. This is kind of sorted by color, but I'm gonna go in again with the ones that I finally have used, and then sort it by color with the two palettes that I have. And they are just the most beautiful, sparkly, wonderful shadows to use. I've never tried any of their mattes, but all of their shimmers so far have been amazing, especially their multi-chromes. They're absolutely stunning, and just the other collections like the Candy Cakes, the Sugar Drops, the Willy Wonka Exploders, Galaxy Dust, they are just beautiful and shifty and sparkly and just so beautiful. So I highly recommend all of them. I also really like the shade here, Gumballs. It's one of their Sugar Drops. I have pan on it right there. It is a beautiful yellow inner corner highlight. Absolutely stunning. Another one I recommend is Celesta. It is just gorgeous. This looks great with purple. It is a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful shadow, and I highly recommend it. I'm also realizing I'm already at 22 minutes. This is going to be a long video. So yeah, Davina Cosmetics, all because of Amy Lois makeup. They're stunning. Another palette I bought because of a YouTuber is this Beauty Babe Book of Magic palette, and I bought this because of Paulina Beauty. Once again, she did quite a few looks with this video, and this palette is just okay. The mattes I find tricky to use. They're a little thin, so sometimes they don't build upon each other. But oh my god, the shimmers are absolutely beautiful. Some of them are like that creamy, almost super shocky type of formula. They're stunning, especially the shade Crystal. It is a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful duochrome. There's just a few quick swatches. I have no regrets about that palette whatsoever. Oh my god, now my arm's like stained. This palette was always on sale by Beauty Bay during the holidays. I think it's still on sale for like $9, and shipping to the States, if you're from the States, is pretty affordable in my opinion. I think it was only like $5 or $6 paying for shipping. So yeah, if you've been thinking about this palette, I don't know if it's going to be back in stock once it's gone. So check Beauty Bay's website and see if it's still in stock, if it's something you're interested in. So next up as a palette I bought because of a specific YouTuber is the Musée Beauty Impressionism palette. And I bought like one of everything from Musée. And this is what it looks like. This palette really went it got really popular. I mean, the brand launched in 2020 and kind of all their products really took off. And I bought this because of Tyra from 100 Palettes Later. She did a 2 looks video with it, and I just thought it was a really beautiful palette. And you can just do such a wide variety of looks with this palette. It is absolutely beautiful. I've used it a few times so far. I'm still testing it out. But it's absolutely gorgeous, and I love that there's neutrals, there's these pinky orangey reds, there's blues, and then greens, and you can just do so many different combinations with this and get such a variety of looks out of it. I think if I ever end up back in the office, this is going to be a go-to palette because of these 2 rows, but also like I'll wear color to the office, so I'll definitely get use out of these rows as well. So just an absolutely stunning palette. And lastly is one that's more of a fail, and that is my e.l.f. Earth and Ocean palette. I don't like this palette. I don't like e.l.f. shadows. I'm actually wearing them today. I bought the Mint Quad, and I bought this and I saw Kelly Gooch's video and Emily's makeup bag do a video on this before I was able to try it out, but I had already purchased it, and this is such a fail. You can't tell, but it is so, the mattes are just so patchy, and the shimmer, if you watch my Get Ready With Me with the Melt Smoke Sessions palette, I did glitter glue and then sprayed the brush, and it did that same thing that the Melt palette did, where it didn't want to stick to the glitter glue, so I had to go in with a not wet brush. The shimmers are really stiff too. They're not really creamy, so yeah, anyway, that's not what this video is about though. The e.l.f. Earth and Ocean palette, my brother actually got me this for Christmas last year, and I put it on my wish list because of Sarah Rose. This is one of her favorite palettes, but I like this like quad up here with the greens and the golds, and then a few of the other shimmers like this. Oh my god, it's so reflective. This Fuji Feels and Rock Bottom, but these mattes and the blue shimmers are not good at all. I actually really don't like them, but I just can't bear to get rid of this palette, so I keep it around. But yeah, I know a lot of people like e.l.f.'s formula, but it's just not for me, and I need to realize that and just not buy from them palette-wise again, because it's just not for me. Okay, and now we have quite a few lipsticks to talk about. Number 1 is, nope, this is not the right shade. So first up, we have a Dose of Colors liquid lipstick. This is one of my favorite formulations ever, and I tried it out because of this color. I saw Amy Loves Makeup wear this video, of course. Can I say video? So I saw Amy Loves Makeup wear this in one of her videos. It wasn't even about this lipstick, although she does have a Dose of Colors lip swatch video. And I just thought it looked so nice on her. And because we have a similar skin tone and hair color, I was like, well, that's going to look good on me. So I bought it during, it was Ulta Fall 21 Days of Beauty a few years ago. And I bought this in the shade Truffle. Truffle is my favorite neutral liquid lipstick. I am actually trying to pan it this year. But I bought this at the same time as well. There goes Scoots. And this is just a really pretty, I'm not going to swatch it, but it's just a bright strawberry pink shade. It's such a stunning lip statement, and it's a really nice formula. It looks really, really pretty on my skin tone. And I really love this liquid lipstick. Next, we have the shade Trust Me from ColourPop. This is one of their lippy sticks in the Matte X formula, and it is a bright, true blue toned red. And I bought this because of Sophie Alexandra on YouTube. She did like a I think it was lipstick roulette, and then she did kind of like a battle of the reds lipsticks. And I think she said this was her favorite red lipstick, and regardless, I just love the way it looked on her. So, again, she's more fair, so I was like, that'll be a good red on me, and it is a really, really nice not liquid lipstick. It is a really, really, really nice red lipstick, and I love the Matte X formula. Usually in a red, I would want a liquid lipstick so it doesn't budge, but the Matte X formula while it can budge a little bit, it's actually not that bad, and a really great formula for a red. For example, I have a cream finish from the Sophia Nygaard collection from ColourPop, and I would have never picked a red in the cream formulation because it's a red. But this is just a really nice classic blue toned red that I will recommend to anyone, especially for my skin tone. This is a great red lipstick. Next up, we have just a few items left, but we have the shade Baby Bellini from the Lip Bar. And I just remember, I'm pretty sure I'm remembering this correctly that Kelly Gooch talked about this lipstick. And I've always known for the brand, and so when I finally purchased from them, I chose Baby Bellini, and it's a great neutral shade on me. It's just, it's not too pink, it's not too peachy, it's just a really good neutral on me, and it's a great formula. It's so smooth. It's so smooth and moisturizing, and, a really great lipstick formula. If you haven't checked them out, I highly recommend you check out the Lip Bar. And finally, we have two lipsticks from Lisa Eldridge. I have Velvet Muse and Velvet Fawn, and these were both from the recommendation of Amy Loves Makeup. Like I said, I have so many recommendations from her that I bought, and so many on the wish list from her. Oh, another one I don't have in my possession from Amy Loves Makeup is the Lavender Chinchilla palette from Tammy Tanuka. It's on its way to me eventually. It hasn't shipped yet because they're on break, but hopefully later this month it will make its way to me. But these are the Lisa Eldridge lipsticks, and I first ordered, when they did their restock, Velvet Fawn because of her. This is extremely similar to Third Eye from ColourPop, which is one of my favorite matte lipsticks. I talked about this in my favorite video, or my favorites of 2020. The Lisa Eldridge matte formula is just absolutely beautiful. It's not a liquid lipstick, but it stays on so well, even when you're eating and drinking and talking. It's such a beautiful formula, and it's not too drying either. Like, this is an expensive lipstick, no doubt. Like, don't buy it if you don't want to spend money on lipstick, but it is so nice and so long wearing, and just a really beautiful formula. So I made an order. I bought this, and I bought Velvet Affair. And then after I made that order, I was watching Amy Loves Makeup's like older lip swatch video of her Lisa Eldridge lipsticks, and I saw her swatch Velvet Muse, and I was like, I need that in my life. It's more of a rose color, and it's like a rosy brown, and it's so beautiful on the lips. I don't like swatching these because they're expensive. But they're so beautiful, and just, I don't regret buying these Lisa Eldridge lipsticks. Once again, they're pricey, and I probably won't buy more for a while, but they're really worth it if you want to have that. And they are like, this is the only luxury makeup I own, and they truly feel luxury. Like, they're weighted. The magnet is really nice. These are great lip products, and a really great recommendation. So with that being said, these are the items I bought because of YouTube. YouTube made me buy it. The YouTuber made me buy it. I have a lot of great hits in a few, not duds, but just not my favorite items, and that's totally okay. Items work differently on everyone depending on your skin tone, your skin type, just personal preference. So, you know, I don't like this and I don't like this, but that's okay because they're just not my preference. A lot of people love these products. So, yeah, I just wanted to share the items I bought because of YouTube. Once again, thank you guys so much for watching. Please remember to like and subscribe and leave a comment if you like, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!